Another day in another practice officially in the books and under the belt for Jordan Love in the Green Bay Packers as their offense really starts to ramp up their pace and intensity. The defense won the majority of the opening days of training camp, but now the offense is starting to gain some steam. In this video, we're going to break down everything you need to know from the news, the notes, the highlights, the observations from another day of Packers training camp. However, before we jump in the video, I need you guys to do me a favor and go follow all of the Packers media members on X right now, guys. They do such a good job getting out the highlights and the notes. It kind of feels like you're at practice when you follow them on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. But I guarantee you, if you do it, you will not regret it. I've had a great time keeping up with the Packers practice just by following these people. Now, with that being said, let's kind of dive into the video and talk a little bit about practice. So first things first is we had one-on-ones. And guys, we have a lot to talk about. Let's just get right in. So we had Reed beating Nixon on a quick one-on-one. That was good to see. Reed is really starting to take a jump up here as maybe the wide receiver one for Jordan Love. We've also saw a short completion to Watson versus Eric Stokes, who is probably the number 2 cornerback on this roster alongside Jair Alexander. Nixon's probably that slot corner. You had Wicks beating Rochelle on a slant. McKinney, great coverage on Musgrave. Also, we know he's so good in terms of being able to go man-to-man versus tight ends versus running backs. So that was awesome to see. Dobbs, again, another really good route with a win versus Jair Alexander. I mean, Romeo Dobbs might be the best goal line threat of this team right now, man. He has been excellent throughout the majority of camp so far, and you're going to see one of his spectacular catches in this video as well. Ballantyne punches out the ball on Melton. Reed absolutely destroyed Nixon on the sideline for a big grab. We also saw Ballantyne in perfect coverage on Stanley. Jair, really good coverage on Dobbs, wins that, or Dobbs still wins the rep over there. So, man, Jair, good coverage, but Dobbs is still standing out in practice every single day. We saw Watson win a slant versus Stokes. We saw Belton beating King on an out route. I mean, one-on-ones today were very, very fun to see, but they just kept going, man. Then we got into some more team drills as Grant Dubois was catching pretty much everything today. Sean Clifford threw a deep bomb down the sideline, and Dubois skied over Evan Williams and Zane Anderson for a 50-50 ball catch. It was unbelievable. And, you know, Grant Dubois having a really good practice today. This dude is getting better and better as time goes on. Now that the pads were on, Jacobs is really starting to, you know, showcase what he can do as a full-time running back. I mean, he got to the outside. Really good job just getting around the edge. Now, the defense was begging for a holding call in that play specifically. I'm not sure if they ended up getting it or not, but, you know, we're still getting, you know, some false starts here and there from the offensive line, which is, you know, obviously get him out during training camp, get him out versus or in these stages of camp and not in preseason, regular season, right? So we'll continue to look at the offensive line going forward, but so far they've been pretty good when it comes to just blocking without penalties. But let's move on to the next subject. And we got some 11-on-11, 7-on-7s, including Jordan Love finding a bunch of different guys, but also making a little bit of a mistake. Before we get into that, we did have an interception. We'll talk about that in a second. Make sure you guys hit the like button, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free. It doesn't cost anything, and we will be covering the Packers throughout the entirety of not only training camp, but preseason and regular season as well, breaking down the film, watching the games on my Twitch, which you could find in the description, my Twitch. We're going to be watching some Packers games over there throughout the preseason and the regular season as well, probably. So make sure you guys do that. It's free. Doesn't cost anything to join the family. And with that being said, let's kind of dive back into the video. So there was one play where Jordan Love dropped back, was looking for Bo Melton on a crossing route over the middle. It was pretty poorly underthrown, and Xavier McKinney, boom, out of nowhere, comes up and gets a big-time interception. But that wasn't it. Bo Melton, after, you know, not being able to catch the ball, gets up off the field and starts sprinting for Xavier McKinney, chases him down, forcing a fumble from behind, and, you know, it's crazy because a lot of wide receivers in the NFL, when the interception is thrown, they'll kind of just give up. Some will fight, right? Some will fight the DK Metcalfs, the guys who really, really care about the team, really want to win games. Those guys care. And Bo Melton every single day comes out here with the approach where he just wants to win. He doesn't care about getting 10 catches, getting 6 catches, getting even 1 catch. He will do whatever it takes to win football games, and we've seen that consistently. He forced a fumble, so good job there by Bo Melton just staying in the play. And I believe the offense actually recovered it as well. We saw Jacobs get up the field, get some burst in him. We saw Anthony Johnson Jr. all over a wide receiver screen to Watson. It was actually a loss of a couple yards on the play. Love then hit Romeo Doubs for an 8-yard pickup, first down. Jair Alexander checks out of the game. Nixon, Stokes are outside corners, and then Javon Bullard went to the slot. Love buys time, uses legs, gets outside, throws it over the head of Musgrave, but it's all right. Quay all over a run of Jacobs, pretty much maybe a 2, maybe 3-yard gain. Quay Walker does a good job getting into the backfield. Jair Alexander gets back into the game, or back into practice. Him and Nixon were on outside. And then we had Love hitting Musgrave, but only for a couple. 4th and 4 was the outcome of that specific drive. So overall, not a bad defensive team drill there, but the offense really started to pick it up towards the end of practice. I mean, this dude, Jordan Love was insane. All right, so 2-minute drill, about a minute 40 left at their own 35, down 28-21, no timeouts. That was a scenario, and obviously no kicking, right? You gotta go get a touchdown. So this is what happened. We had Love going 5 of 6. He had a big play on a 17-yard pass to Reed. Love scrambles, escapes the pocket, redirects traffic, and finds Dontavion Wicks in the end zone between safeties on 1st and goal. Really impressive drive by Jordan Love. I mean, he was hitting everyone in stride, on target. Big shout out to Jordan Love because, you know, although he didn't start practice amazingly, right, he ended it the way you need to end it. You need to come out here, have some big time plays, and that's exactly what he did. So shout out to Jordan Love. Definitely a good practice for him down the line. We had a deep shot during 7-on-7s or 11-on-11s to Watson. I think that was a 40-yard pickup. We had a swing route to Josh Jacobs and Javon Bullard all over it. So the safeties are really everywhere when it comes to this team. You have Javon Bullard, Evan Williams, all doing such a good job. Anthony Johnson Jr. as well. In today's practice, Anthony Johnson Jr. actually got the start at the safety position alongside Xavier McKinney, Jair, Nixon, Stokes. You had McDuffie, Quay. D-line looked like Gary Slayton, Clark Smith. And then offense was Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, Dontavion Wicks, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Luke Musgrave, and then the offensive line included Walker, Jenkins, Myers, Morgan, and Telfer at the right tackle position. Overall, man, it was a really good practice today for the Packers. They did a lot of good things. A lot of guys really stepping up. I mean, Edrin Cooper, I think started off practice but then had to leave practice. I'm not really too sure why. If you guys know, comment down below. But he did take off his pads and was on the sideline for the rest of practice. Kingsley Enagbare, I don't know if I said that right, but he looked so good, guys. I can't even begin to explain how good Kingsley has been, not only in training camp, but, you know, mandatory minicamp, OTAs. This dude has been everywhere at once. I mean, getting to the quarterback, dropping into zone coverages in the flat and the hook curl, and manning up running backs at times. I mean, this dude could do a lot of things. He's so flashy, but he's going to be able to, really put pressure on a quarterback, and I'm excited to see him continue to grow as time goes on, man. He is probably one of my favorite players on this Packers team. Again, I'm just excited to see how he continues to develop. So make sure you guys do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, turn on post notifications. We will be covering the Packers all year long, so join the family if you haven't already done so. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next Packers update. Peace.